Hey guys, it's Miss Leone here, and today we're going to be shading forms using hatching. The supplies we need are a piece of paper, a pencil, and a ruler. So let's begin. Let's start by writing shading forms using hatching. Okay, and then we're just going to write our name in the corner, underline. Alright, so now I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to split my page in half, just like that, and then I'm just going to make two vertical lines, trying to be as straight as possible to make 6 sections. Alright, so now I'm going to start with a sphere. So I'm writing sphere here. Alright, so we're going to start by first drawing a circle very lightly. Nice and light, that way you can adjust. Okay, mine's a little crooked, so I'm going to turn my page around just to kind of adjust it, make it a little neater. It's okay if you have to erase. Alright, and then just erase whatever little extra lines we have there. Alright. I have a little dark spot. Let me just fix that. Alright. Now I'm going to make a line in the background using my ruler, going through here and right there, not drawing through it. Alright, so once we have that, we're going to be identifying our light source. That way we know where the light is going to come from. That means that this side, if it's coming from the left, the lightest area is the left, shadows are on the right. And remember, with hatching, the closer together the lines, the darker it gets, the more space, the lighter the value. So we're going to start not going straight across or diagonally straight. We're going to be curving. So I'm going to be making some lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, spreading them out, following the curve. Next, for the medium, I'm going to be going in and I'm going to be making lines shorter in the in-betweens. 1, 2, not going out as far. This one might have 3 in there, just depending on how wide your spaces are. We still want to make it look like it has the highlight that's curving there. Okay, and then anything that we need to fix, we can fix. Alright, so we already have 3 values. We have the white of the paper, the light, and the medium. So now we're going to go in for the darkest value, and we're just going to do it nice, short, close together. They can touch. Make sure you're starting at the edge of your form. Okay, nice and close together, following the angle of the curve. So we don't want to have one curving one way, the other one curving the other way. We want it to kind of be following the same direction. And then when we get to the bottom, it's going to be coming out wider. Okay, and then we can go in and just fill in any spots that we need to fill in. And then we can look at it and see if we need any adjustments. So I'm looking here, I think I need a little more medium in my life right here. The idea is that we want to make the transition look like it's slowly turning from light to medium to dark. And again, the closer together the lines, the darker the value, the more far apart, the lighter the value. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to trace very lightly, like a little curving, rounded, circular shape. Right opposite, it's on the left since it's on the right since the light source is on the left. So then I'm going to go in and start making my shadow. I'm just starting off with them kind of spread out a little. Alright, just to kind of get a sense of where it's going to go, and then I'm going to go in and fill in, but I'm keeping them within the shape of the circle that I drew. I'm not drawing through my circle here, my sphere. Okay, and then looking, I feel like there's just a few spots I can fill in. Alright. And then I'm just going to go in and just erase, rounded, and that's that. And then I'm just going to make some diagonal lines in the background, and that's our sphere. Next we're going to do the cylinders. So I'm writing cylinder at the bottom. Okay, cylinder. So I'm going to start by drawing my cylinders. I'm going to kind of draw it a little in between, like almost to the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to, my vertical lines going down, ending at the same distance, curving. And I'm going to draw my second cylinder right over here. So I'm having my tall cylinder going that way, making my line going across and curving it. Alright, and then I'm going to do my background here. So once step 1 is drawing, step 2 we're going to identify our light source. We're going to move our light source to the right hand side, which means our lightest area is going to be on the right, the shadow is going to be on the left. So for this one I'm going to turn my page towards me, and I'm going to make some curving lines, spread out. Okay, I'm making it on that side because my light source is here, and then I'm going to put just like 2 going that way. Now here, I'm going to actually turn my page around because I find drawing certain directions is more comfortable for me. Okay, and I'm curving and I'm curving. Alright, so now we have our light value. We have the white of the paper and our light value. Then I'm going to go in and just kind of add some lines in between, a little shorter. So depending how wide, you might be able to fit 2 or 3, just depends. So some of them might fit 3, some might fit 2. Same thing here, maybe I'm going to put like 2 or 3 there. Then on this one, I'm going to turn my page around. Alright, now we're ready for our darkest value. So I'm going to go in and just make my lines close together and shorter. Make sure your pencil is well sharpened, because if not, your lines are going to be too thick and they're going to be blending. So I'm just kind of going quick, trying to keep in the same direction here. So I'm looking, I feel like I need a few more mediums because there's kind of like it's really dark and then it's really light. So I'm just going to add a couple of extra mediums here just to make that transition a little more gradual. Okay, I'm going to add some dark in this little edge inside of there. Now I'm going to flip my page around and do my darkest value down here. Alrighty, so nice, close together, short. And now I'm looking, I do see kind of a stripe. We need a little more smoother transition, so I am going to go in and just add a few more wispy mediums just to give it a little softer transition. Alright, and then I'm just going to add 3 diagonal lines right here just to show that it's a flat surface instead of this one being open. Okay, then we're going to add our shading, our cast shadow. So I'm going to come from this side. I'm going to kind of lightly sketch. It's okay if it slightly goes over the line, no big deal. Okay, but remember, we want the shadow to match whatever the form is. Okay, so I have that, and then I'm going to go in and just I'm going to just leave some lines, leave spaces. Okay, same thing here, just to stick within the little guidelines I drew. They'll start to disappear once you add more, so we start like that, and then we're just going to go in and fill in those empty gaps. Okay, same thing here. Just filling in those white spaces, trying to stick to the same direction of the line that I originally drew. And then we'll go in and erase the edges just to clean up our shaded edges. So I'm going to go here and just clean that up. Clean that up. Alright, down here. Same thing. So now that's done, we'll just add our diagonal lines to the background. Don't draw through it. Alright, next we have our cones. So for the cone, I'm going to start with a wider oval ellipse just so I have space, because since this is like triangular at the bottom, if you make it too narrow, you won't be able to get as much shading happening. So you start with your oval. I'm going to make a little dot right in the center below, just to kind of guide me. I'm looking, I feel like this can be a little rounder, so I can just adjust that. Just want to make sure it's really round, but yet not a circle. And then here I'm going to make like the letter A, minus the cross in the middle, and then I'm going to join it. Okay, then I'm going to go in with my ruler and just draw behind. Alright, so we're going to identify our light source. Our light source is going to be up here, and we're going to start shading. So the same thing like the cylinder, going to make it come out a little more just so I have room for the shading. This is going to be open. Same thing here. So I am turning my page. It kind of helps me to get my angle of my shading correct, because these are rounded. So step 1, we made our lighter value. Step 2, we're going to go in shorter in the spaces for the medium. Want to make them a little wispy. We don't want like a hard edge. There, same thing here. Just filling in. Some of them might be 2, some might be 3, just depends on the spacing. Just want to make sure you're getting all the way to the edge. Alright, and then we're going to go to the darkest. Going to be short. Not as long as the medium, but still kind of curving. It's a little harder to curve at this stage. Okay, and then get all the way to the bottom. Now I'm looking, I need definitely more medium because it's just like dark and light. I'm just going to add a few more mediums. A little wispy. Alright, and now same thing in here. I'm going to add my little dark. Alright, down here, same thing. Okay, so now for the shadow, this one, you want this to be a triangle with the point coming from there. So we're just going to lightly sketch it. It's okay if it goes a drop over the line. Same thing here, but the triangle's going to go opposite. Okay. Then we're just going to go in and start adding our lines. And again, it's okay if it went over the line of the division. Same thing here. Now I'm going to go in and fill it in. So by me leaving space, it just kind of makes it easier when I start drawing them closer together, just to stick to the direction of the line. It's okay if it's not a perfect triangle shape, because we can just go in and erase, make it neater. Same thing here. Just going to fill it in. Only go as fast as your craftsmanship, your being neat will allow you to. If you see it's getting sloppy, slow down, okay? And then we're going to go in and just erase, just to clean it up, make it sharper. Alright, and then we're going to just do our little diagonal hatching in the background. Alright, now we're up to the cuboid. So the cuboid meaning rectangular prism and cube. They're like cousins. They're in the same family. So let's start by first drawing our cube. So starting with a square, nice and neat as you can. If you see that it's crooked, just fix it. No big deal. Alright, so I have that, and then I'm going to make my diagonal lines going in this direction. I'm noticing this could be a little straighter. So this is going to be vertical right here, and then this is going to come across horizontally, and then you can just go ahead and clean up any extra lines. Alright, next I'm going to draw my rectangular prism. And I'm going to have this one going in the opposite direction. That way you can see no matter which way it's going, you'll see how to shade it. Because when you draw, sometimes objects will be facing different directions, and that's okay. So I have my rectangular prism, which is actually quite crooked. So let me just fix that a little bit. And I didn't notice that at first. Sometimes you don't notice until you're almost done, and you're like, whoa, that's really crooked. I'm just going to fix that a little, fix that, make it a little straighter. Alright, so now we're going to start making our background line. And identifying the light source. So the light source is going to be there. So we're going to start with this being, the tops are going to be light, this is going to be medium, 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 okay, and over here is going to be medium in the front. Alright, the top staying light, and then here I'm going to be making vertical lines as close together as I can. And then just filling in some of the lines, getting them as close together. Same thing here, but here I'm going to go diagonal, so I'm tilting my paper. Okay, and just fill in any extra lines. And after this, we'll add our cast shadow. Clean up any edges. And if you have any extra white spots, you can fill them in. Making sure you're going to edge, so it's not crooked. So if it is, you can just erase to make it straight. Now we're going to start adding the cast shadow. So again, it's going to be opposite, so I'm just going to lightly sketch a line, and I'm actually just kind of extending it from this line, this angle that I have there, and then this one is going to just be parallel. And this bottom one is going to be horizontal, so it kind of makes itself if you just follow what you have already going on. And this one over here is going to go out at this angle, so you want to just make sure that the shape of it matches. Okay, and then this is going to be at the angle. So these are kind of going out, they don't match anything, they just want them to be rectangular. And then this is going to be parallel to that. And I'm looking, I feel like this should be a little drop longer. I'm just going to extend it. So I feel like this could be a little drop longer as well. Let's just extend it. Alright, so now that we have that, we want to make our lines opposite of what we have already there. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead, and I can just go diagonal as long as I don't go vertical. So I'm going to go diagonal this way. And I am leaving spaces. Sometimes I start closer together and then I end up spreading them out. It's okay. We do just want to make sure we have our spacing. Okay, mine are a little wonky, but I can fix that once I start adding my next layer. And then here, I'm going to just make this going to go in this direction. What is making that little sound? One moment, let's just see. I think that's something outside. We'll just ignore that little thumping. Okay, so once I do that, I'm going to go back in and just kind of make my lines. So right here, this last one, I got a little kooky there, so I'm just going to fix that. Oh, I see what's one moment. Let me just. I see what's making that noise. Right. So I'm just going to go in, just fill in these lines as close as possible. Trying to really start making sure so that's I'm just making my lines, making them as close as possible. And then erasing right here. Okay. Next I'm going to finish this up. I'm just filling in the lines, keeping in the same direction. Alrighty. And then we're just going to go in, just clean up our edges. Alright. Same thing, and then we'll just add our little diagonal background here. Alright, so we're done with the cuboids. Next, we are going to move on to the triangular prism. So we have two left, guys. Triangular prism. Alright, so for that, we're going to start just by drawing our two triangular prisms. We are doing two styles here. So I'm going to try to draw above this line. That way I can just kind of have my background extend. If you draw it too low and you have to make your line higher, it's okay. But I'm just trying to keep them together in mind. So let's do that. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to start with my horizontal line. Okay, and I'm going to put my little dot here. Remember, we want it to be wider than it is long. Okay. And then I'm just going to connect here and here. We don't want this to be equilateral. And then from there, I'm just going to draw a vertical line from the center going down and from the sides going down, but not as long. But I am going to adjust it because we need this bottom line, even though it's diagonal, it needs to be parallel to that one. So let's see. So if that's like that, I want this to be about there. And if that one's at this angle, so I kind of trace over it a little bit just so I can make it match. It's kind of like a little trick there. All right, so we have one triangular prism. The next one is going to be, we're going to start with our horizontal line here. But then I'm going to draw the dot on top. Okay. And then there we go. All right, so now I'm going to have, this one almost looks like a house. I'm just going to have my vertical lines. And those are not vertical at all. I think it's because my paper was angled. Yeah, I got to fix that. Look how crooked, but that's okay. Because that's how we learn. But at least they're parallel crooked, but no. That's not going to cut it. So I'm going to go here. Fix them up. You can see what a difference that is right there. So I'm going to cut across. Okay, there we go. Just erase. So that was really crooked, guys. Whoa. Miss Leon, real crooked. But it's okay, because everybody makes mistakes. And everybody has those days. Alright, so I'm going to do my little background here. Right here. Back here. Alright, so now we're going to switch up our light source. Okay, so, because we had 3 light sources on the right and only 1 on the left. So these last 2 are going to be on the left. So I have this light source right here. Alright, so again, the tops are going to stay the lightest value. Okay, so the tops we're leaving white. And then this one, since it's closest there, we're going to do medium. Okay, so I'm going to go in. And I mean, I can do it diagonal or I can do it vertical. I think I'm going to go diagonal. I'm just feeling it. But you can feel free to go vertical if you'd like. But you can't go horizontal because this is not horizontal. So I'm just going to go in. Trying to make them as parallel as possible, leaving spaces. That's my medium. Okay. We're going to leave this light. So I'm seeing this first one could be a little straighter. So you know what? Since I noticed it, if you notice it, you got to change it. If you don't, then I'll give you feedback that it's crooked. But you can tell when something's crooked. So there we go, just fix that real quick. All right, so now for this one, it only has two planes, right? This one is going to be light and this one's going to be darker. So I can just go in and just start adding. This can be like in between, maybe like in between a medium and a dark. But I'm going to start with one layer. Okay, and let me just darken this edge while I'm at it. Okay, so now I'm going to go in over here and just to add my darkest, since that's the farthest away from the light source. So I am going to start just by spreading them out, just like I did the first row. Remember, go edge to edge, but try not to go over. Try to stick within the edge. So that kind of looks a little closer together, but we're going to go in and just fill it in all the way. The lines can touch. Just want to make this the darkest edge. Alright, just keep filling it in, guys. And then look at it, maybe right there I can add a little more. Make sure it's edge to edge. Then you can go in and kind of just erase anything that you feel is kind of in the way. And here I just keep looking at this part because I drew a little rough. Just wanted to adjust that little mark. And then just adjust, just kind of make it a little darker. Alright, and now here, feel like it needs just a little something. So I'm just going to make this a little darker. I'm going to add a line here and there. Maybe not as dark as my dark edge. We only have two here to work with. Maybe because of this, I might make the top maybe like a light medium. Because now there's going to be a lot of contrast. And maybe this, I'll just put just a few lines there. Alright, and that's it for that. So now we just have to add our shading. And actually I'm looking here, some of my lines are not going edge to edge. So if you notice that, fix them edge to edge. Just kind of redo the line. Okay, so now since the light is there, the shadow is going in the opposite direction. So I'm going to have this coming out this way, this coming out this way. This is just going to miss touching that. So and then this is going to be diagonal and parallel to that one. And then this one looks like it may get cut off. Let's see how it goes. Oh, maybe not. Okay. I'm going to cut across. Alright, so now for this, I'm going to go in and just add my shading. So we can go out this way or we can go diagonal. So maybe for this one, I'm going to go this way. I'm just going to go vertical and keep it within my frame. Notice how I'm leaving space. Okay, and this one, I might go horizontal here. I just don't want it to be exactly the same as what's above it. So I'm just switching it up here. So you can see how this one I went that way. Like you can just use your judgment. Okay. Alright, so next I'm going to go in. Just fill in these lines. Okay, then go in and you can just kind of erase where you need to. And I'm noticing right here I can add a little more, so I'm going to add a little more. Now here, let's finish this. So I'm going to tilt my page a little because like I said, I like pulling towards me when I try to make straight lines. Certain directions are just a little uncomfortable. So definitely, please, again, turn your papers if you need to. Alright, we're almost done, guys. Yay! This is a long one. It's very easy to get distracted. Just stay focused because you don't want to have crooked lines. If you need to take a break, pause it, come back. If your hand's getting tired, that's fine. My hand's getting tired, but I have no choice. But you do. And just fix your edges. Alright, and then we're just going to make our little light just to give it a sense of place. Alright, there we go. So finally, yay, we're up to the pyramid. Alright, so for the pyramid, we're going to be starting with a vertical line. So again, my vertical lines have been a little wonky, so it's okay. We're all human. It happens to everybody. But I'm going to do my best here to make it as vertical as possible. Alright. Still crooked at the end. It's because my hand is tired. My hand is tired. Alright, I'm just going to start again there. Okay, take two, because that was just... Okay, there we go. Kind of went a little quicker, but it happened. Yay! Alright, so now I'm going to make these lines not straight across, not too angled. Okay, kind of, you just got to find the right angle. So I'm going to make it like that. So it's not going to be straight and it's not going to be too close. You just want to have like a in the middle almost. Kind of looks like an arrow pointing down. Okay. And then if we have to adjust, we will adjust. I feel like this one wanted to be a little longer there. No. So I feel like that was a little too wide, so I'm just going to kind of fix that. Do I want it there? I kind of liked it the first way. So this is where, kind of by eye. This is in geometry class, so it's okay. I feel like though seeing that one, I feel like this one wants to go a little wider actually. So I'm going to just extend that and erase. Alright, so we have our pyramid. I don't know, something's bothering me about this, so yeah, maybe it does want to be. See my thought process? This is what I want you guys to start thinking of. Yeah, I think I like it just a little slimmer. Alright, so we have our pyramid. Our light source is going to be right on this side, which means that this is going to be the lightest area, this is going to be the darkest area. So I'm going to just start by shading in the part that's farthest away from the light source. Again, leaving my larger spaces here. Okay, and then I can go in and fill them in. Oh, and I forgot my background. Oh, I rushed. Hold on. Pause. If we were in class, you would have been like, Miss, you forgot the background. My bad. Alright, background. Alright, to be continued. Let's just go in and just fill in these little spaces. So the pyramid is one of the easier ones because it only has two sides. And we're just going to go in and fill these in. Make sure you're going line to line. So see, I'm talking once again and I'm not going line to line. So that just leaves more work for me now, for me to fix it, than if I would have just done it first the right way. So it's okay if you make a mistake, you just got to fix it. Line to line, line to line, line to line, line to line. Okay guys, line to line. We're almost done here. Don't lose focus.